I don't want to freeze.
It'll be there. All right, welcome everybody. Just want to go, or you want to?
We can go through the agenda.
Okay, Victor, you got something?
Yeah, but
Go ahead,
I
everybody.
don't have to speak right now.
No, go ahead. Knock yourself out. Let's get through it.
I come to you as an irate citizen. I have a little bit of a concern here. I don't know if you got this little piece of paper that I submitted.
Is that over there on the?
No.
I can't tell what he
This is just 2 pages from a proposed brief of Amicus Curiae New York Civil Liberties Union. And I had a question about sentences 9 and 10 on page 14 of this thing, which reads the following. Third, while respondents claim the landfill has limited environmental impacts, it simultaneously requires the allocation of $150,000 in a disadvantaged community benefit fund without specifying what particular projects would be implemented or whether they would be specific to reduction of the pollution burden, New York State CEF, document 12 at 8. The lack of specificity regarding this particular mitigation strategy prevented the community and DEC, for that matter, from meaningfully evaluating its adequacy in the reduction of pollution burdens. I'm concerned about this because this sets you guys up for a fall. I'm concerned with this whole atmosphere. I, as a citizen and the research scientist, need some kind of explanation of what's going on, and I think the public needs a public education on what's going on with this lawsuit and stuff. The danger here is we're the ones hosting the landfill. And this particular issue is basically our responsibility to be answerable to. Which is why I've been advocating over and over again that you not only take over the landfill, but you take over its management and its finances, and that's the first thing you should be taking over, just because of this sort of thing here. Because there is an answer to this. I've been giving it to you for months now. And the way this thing is laid out, this amicus, it's setting you up for a fall.
No, we're not the
To
ones
close a
that are doing this.
landfill, you need to, if this is part of the lawsuit, or
This is the
whatever's
lawsuit
going
from
on,
the Rensselaer Environmental Coalition. It's not us.
it's, yeah, but it's a document in support, ostensibly in support of what you're doing. And,
Do you have the rest of this document that comes with this?
yeah, I mean, I came across this, I was doing background research to see how off base I was.
This is the REC though. This isn't
Yeah, this is-
anything to do with the city of Rensselaer. This is the group.
Okay, yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
needed to know, what's
Yeah,
going on here.
they're not anything to do with the city of Rensselaer. They're a complete offshoot group that is completely on their own. Yes, they show up to meetings every once in a while. I would reach out to Bob Welton is the guy's name. He's the head of that group. Let me see
Oh,
here.
okay, that's what I need to know.
I might have a contact information for him.
Yeah.
I'll get you all that information, sir.
Yeah,
You come see me after.
okay,
Okay.
because, you know, this,
Perfect.
if you're calling for the, you know, this kind, what this is going, my attitude is this, yeah, with this, you'd win in your first appearance in court, but you gotta be careful about what you win, because all you're gonna get out of something like this, a strategy like this, is a judge saying, you know, okay, you're right, but I'm gonna give them 45 days to 90 days for them to come into compliance. And so they're still open, you haven't shut them down.
Right.
And-
Here, I'm gonna give you his email, and
It's,
then you can, you know, take it up with them.
okay.
No, I can write it right on here.
It's really important in any argument about this, in a phrase, to close a landfill, you need an alternative use of the land. You gotta give a court something to hang their hat on. You can't just say, shut this thing down because it's dirtying up the air. They'll wanna help you, and they'll maybe even do it for you, but it'll be appealed and you'll lose on appeal, and you'll be wasting lots of time, and you'll still have the landfill open.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, just, that's his email and that's his name. That's,
Okay, good.
That's
All
the,
right, thank you very much. That's all I needed to know.
all right, no problem, yeah. All right, anybody else got anything before we get into resolutions? No? All right, so we got 6 resolutions. First one is a resolution renewing a mutual community sharing agreement for high-intensity law enforcement between the City of Rensselaer, Town of East Greenbush, Town of North Greenbush, Town of Schodack, Village of Nassau, and City of Troy. It's one of those that we do every year to, you know, share resources and things of that nature. If anybody has any questions, I can get Chief Warren on the lines. He just couldn't make it tonight, so he said he is available by phone. So anybody have a question on that one?
I do. When was the last time we approved this?
I believe it was, I don't think it was last year, I think it was 2 years ago possibly. Do you have any idea on that, John?
No?
I think it might have been even more.
Let
I
me,
think it's a 4-year
I was
agreement.
gonna say, how long's the agreement, couple
Because,
years?
you know, I
Might have
don't
been our
remember
first,
seeing this
yeah.
before.
all right.
So I think it was before my first term.
Okay,
So we renew this every 4 years?
possibly. I thought it was 2 myself, but again, it could be
This current agreement is for 4 years.
4 years,
Yes,
so
it's
maybe it was
probably
4 years ago.
I was
Right.
gonna say, probably.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions on that one? No? We're good, council as a whole?
Mhm. Good.
All right, number 2, a resolution authorizing the City of Rensselaer to enter into a intermunicipal agreement for police tactical team cooperation between the City of Rensselaer Police Department and the towns of East Greenbush, North Greenbush, and Schodack Police Departments. And again, is this 4 years again as well?
I believe so, yes. Let me just roll it.
Yeah, 2030.
I do have a question. But remember, before we started, I mentioned it does not mention the county sheriff. That doesn't exclude them from assisting our agency, correct?
No, not at all. It's
Okay.
just, this is for essentially the SWAT team that, you know, they come together and they train together, they share resources, they have one SWAT truck, you know,
Absolutely, yeah. I just didn't.
and there's members of each department on that particular team. All right, everybody good with that one?
Yeah.
Council as a whole? All right, number 3, a resolution approving award package and bid for North Street Bridge replacement, or South Street Bridge replacement. This one is, do we have anything on this? For this,
Oh, South Street, sorry.
South Street, yeah, not North Street, South Street.
I was just saying, I apologize. Just that the original resolution has been approved for the South Street project, and within the packet, there should be that the bid that was opened in, I think it was January 6th, in the city clerk's office. It was assessed by our consultant, Greenman Peterson, and they did a computation to make sure that all the numbers were correct, and the lowest bidder was WIN. So that was the one who was selected.
Okay.
So we'd like to go into contract with WIN, and also to approve, GPI has submitted a billing schedule for their construction inspection. So what they'll do is they will be part of the project where they'll go each day and just look at the project to make sure it's on schedule and just do the inspection at the end. And they've been part and parcel of the project from the very beginning.
All right, perfect. Now, how much did, we don't come out of pocket on this one, or do we do on this,
We
right?
do, oh no, let's see, South Street Bridge, yeah, so the city, in total, it's $438,600 for the South Street Bridge.
Okay.
That's our portion. We have a grant portion of 1.7 million, and the total project is 2.1 million.
All right.
So we do have a portion of that, but it's been over the course of probably at this point 4 years. So we've just finally gotten to construction.
Okay. And we have the money for it, for our portion of it?
Yes, we have everything in place within New World to pay for this project.
All right.
Yeah. And we get reimbursed too. So we'll send anytime work is done, I process the invoice and then I send it to DOT, and DOT will send us back their portion of what the state and feds pay for the project. So we pay slowly throughout the course of the project.
All right. How long do you think it's going to take?
I think they said it was going to be, they'd be finished by next fall, I think was the project schedule.
Okay. Anybody else have anything? Council as a whole?
Yes.
All right. Number 4, a resolution authorizing a professional engineer and surveying services agreement with Creighton Manning PLLC for the East Street Storm Drain Pipe Replacement Project. Got anything on that one?
The only thing that I have on that one is I know that there was a collapse at the Amtrak station, and that they were looking through, they were hiring Kenyon Pipeline to survey and go through with a camera through the pipe.
Okay.
And Creighton Manning is going to be submitting, how much it's going to cost for them to actually do the project. I don't have the exact numbers, but
This is just
As-
an agreement to let them go in and do it, so
Yes.
we can, okay.
we can evaluate of what the actual cost will be.
Okay.
Is there a reason why it's them in particular?
I'm sorry?
Is there a reason it's them in particular? Do they
Um,
normally do this sort of stuff?
They do, and actually, so every 3 years, we put an RFQ out for architectural planning and engineering, and we solicit engineering firms and different firms within the region, and they submit their qualifications, and as a team, generally it's myself, Tom, Bill Smart, the engineer, and our DPW commissioner. We look through all of them and evaluate them, and then we choose about 10 that are the best that we consider, and with the best prices. This kind of the same way they do the bid for the South Street Bridge. And it's a 3-year program, which is wonderful because it saves us a lot of time for going out to put bid for each engineering services and architectural services. We can take someone off the list since we have that resolution in place. The last time the resolution was done was June 19th of 2024, so we still have a couple years before we need to go look at that again. It's generally about a 6-month process.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Council as a whole? All right.
Yes.
All right, number 5, a resolution approving change of traffic and parking signage recommended by city engineer and scheduling a public hearing thereon. This is for Washington Ave and Broadway, I believe. Oh,
This is the- yeah.
The place a stop sign was required for the last 20 years.
Dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah, they were all.
Oh, no
legit,
parking
yeah.
sign, yeah, up on
So-
Don Stewart.
Yeah, on that Washington Anderson place, the one corner,
Yeah.
there's parking up, there's lines right there, but then there's that one corner and somebody will park there and the rear of their car is sitting in the road.
Yeah, you
Yes.
can't see around,
Right.
it's awful.
Or half the time they're blocking driveways.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so there's always complaints, I get those about.
Right,
And then
and then Aiken Ave.
Aiken Ave.
Yeah, everybody go with this? This is
Yeah,
scheduled
they all
public
make
hearing?
sense to me.
All right, council as a whole?
Yes.
All right, we'll sit on number 6, because we're gonna have to go into executive session. Community and ward reports, Tim, you got anything?
I don't think I do.
Okay, Diane?
Well, there's had a couple of snow piles, corner of Washington Avenue and 8th Street. Norbert took care of them, DPW and I went. Okay.
All right, Stacy?
Actually, I was emailed to Norbert to see if we can prioritize some bus stops if we have to remove snow, if it's over this high again, because we have some kids stand in the middle of the roads at bus stops. I shoveled them so they weren't standing in the road, but I'm getting a little older now. Shoveling whole snow piles isn't my
Farley Drive
favorite.
bus stop is waiting if the kids are standing on the street and get it. Free shoveling.
And I did add John Street between 6th and it doesn't intersect with 7th Street, but that section for blacktopping as well.
Okay.
Got approval, he said okay.
Nice. Andrew?
Nothing that hasn't been handled by Norbert.
Sarah? Looks like you got a list going on. All right.
So, Broadway and Pine, I got a call, remember their power went out during the storm?
Yes.
Anyway, I guess that's a frequent problem for the last 2 months, and they want us like reaching out to 911. He thinks there was a fire in a transformer, it was a whole thing. But anybody else gonna look into that? Broadway, there's a light out, I called all them and a light out again. The snow emergency parking, I got 4 phone calls, people are mad that they're not getting ticketed. They don't want the cops to knock on the door and let them, they want them getting a ticket.
Okay.
Just trying to make the city money, okay, don't be mad about that.
And then the snow emergency again was Broadway. They want the snow emergency to alternate, I talked to John about this. They want the snow emergencies to alternate with Broadway's alternate parking, or like coincide, but I
There's a
know.
bunch of different parking in different areas.
Yes, even at mine doesn't go
So,
with theirs,
it's-
so,
Yeah.
but she did call, so.
And I did, I just got a call from Kevin Billets,
Oh, yeah.
earlier.
that.
That's just snow removal
I forgot
tomorrow
about that too.
Yeah.
up there, so that'll be temporary, and they're gonna move it to the other side tomorrow, so.
That's another thing, if I could tie into some communication circle, that when they do that stuff in my ward, if I could get a
Let
call
you know.
from somebody, because they assume I know.
Right,
So people are like, we're losing water, and it's snow removal.
right.
Yeah, so, that's it.
Yeah, I'll reach out to Norbert tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hey, if you're doing something
Yeah, I'll
up there.
text him.
Yeah. And?
I had actually a call from Mike Meissner about one of my constituents that got a penalty fee of $150 because he didn't pay his school tax on time, and he had a valid excuse. So I would like to ask the city council to sponsor a resolution and a hearing to get his $150 penalty fee back. He apparently was in Australia and he had somebody else paying his bills for him, and she sent it to the wrong place or something like that, so they didn't get it in time.
Right, so we just have it, send an email to Ian, and then he'll write her up.
And I'm working with Diane on another one similar to that.
Correct, it's the same kind of situation. The lady that found the couch in the stream in the town of North Greenbush emailed me and wants to have the couch removed, and I told her maybe one thing we could do was, and I saw her on the street, so I mentioned it to her, that we could maybe call DEC and see if they could remove. And what is the procedure for getting the city to interact with DEC to remove something that's harmful to?
My thought process, if it's on North Greenbush land, then
It's in
she
North
should,
Greenbush, yes, the
she
town of
should
North
go to the
Greenbush.
town of North Greenbush and.
And that was
complain.
supposed to have been dealt with
Right,
about
that was a while ago.
7 months ago.
And it's still there.
The couch is still
Couple
there,
deer laying in that
although
couch.
outdoor person that I am have not found the sofa, and I find things that you would not believe, and I have not found this sofa.
So it's not walking distance from your house.
It is. It's walking distance from my house, but it's off the road and on the stream on private property,
Oh.
on this person's land. It's not conserved land, it's not public land, it's a private
Right.
wooded area.
So can you go on private property?
Yeah.
No, I cannot go there, so that's why I haven't found the
Sure,
sofa.
Because that would be
But
like
she
stealing, right?
apparently hikes,
Because they have- she knows they
hikes all over the place, and she's a walker, she's out every single day.
Right.
And she also talked to me about perhaps working with the town of North Greenbush on the speed limit on Rock Cut Road, because there's a lot of walkers that go there, and they go up and down Sterling Ridge a couple of times and don't go on Rock Cut because the people just go barreling through there and they don't even stop at the stop sign. So I was wondering what the procedure is to work with town of North Greenbush into doing some cooperation in terms of speed limit and height path and things of that sort.
Don't we have
any
something
ci-
going on in Rock Cut?
We are working on a trail on Old Rock Cut Road. We're gonna meet with the town supervisor, Joe Bott. We're setting up a meeting with him and his attorney to talk about that land, because it is on North Greenbush land, but we wanna talk about some sort of cooperative agreement or annexation, and we'll bring up the mattress too. when
Yeah,
we-
it sounds like they already have
It's a
seating spot ready
sofa.
for you.
It's a sofa.
They have seating.
In case you're looking, you can
And I just want to offer my perspective. I ride my bike a lot, and I know that on that road, I know what everybody's talking about with the way it rolls, but it's the curving for me, having very little shoulder. So
Yes.
maybe a solution would be just to ensure that there's a shoulder wide enough for two sets of people, bikers,
Is
walkers.
there any way I could be included
I could work on that, yes.
in these discussions? I would welcome
Sure.
that.
Yes.
Bring your own chair.
We had to cancel Squash Hunger last week because Capital Roots was closed until Thursday at noon due to the storm. Is there anyone that doesn't know what Squash Hunger is?
Is it
I
you
talk-
down to the library?
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, I talk about it all the time. So, anyway, it is going to happen tomorrow, but I apologize for last week. I know people really look forward to it, but you can't win them all. And thanks to DPW for doing a great job of plowing.
Yeah.
There are a couple of piles of snow, which I don't think they are going to be able to remove in any quick fashion. There's Patroon Point Drive and the corner of Sterling and Gordon Court. So people are being very careful and everybody is understanding. And that's it.
All right, perfect. All right, you want to make a motion to go into executive session?
I'll make a motion.
Eric, did you want us to do our report before?
Oh, yes, I'm sorry, yes, sorry.
And
They
I would
bump
respond
you
to
and
the-
then, and then
forgot.
about you.
That's okay. I want to respond to the councilwoman as well.
Yep.
After the last storm, my understanding is that National Grid replaced a transformer with a larger transformer at Pine and Broadway, and that is expected to solve the
Do
problem.
you know, they're going to, they haven't done it yet though.
I think they have done it. That's what I remember hearing from Norbert, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'll check on that
This guy was pretty
tomorrow.
adamant about it, that it happens a couple hours, a few times a week.
Uh-huh,
And
okay.
he just messaged me during the height of the storm when they lost the power.
Yeah.
So maybe that's a fluke and it is fixed and it was
We'll
the
check on
storm,
that.
you know?
It might be their connection on their house, too,
Yeah.
even.
Did you bring those up?
Sure, yes, I can.
If nobody else is having problems,
They
it
are.
might be
No,
public.
I've had plenty.
Oh, so you're only hearing from him. Oh, okay.
Bill Smart, the city engineer at the start of the year, suggested that the engineering department and the planning department come to the common council regularly
We can share.
for piecemeal
I have it in my
things like the
email.
things that were just discussed regarding the culverts and the bridges. And he suggested we do an overview at the beginning of the year of what's happening in the planning department and the engineering department. And unfortunately, he couldn't be here today, so Amy and I are going to do the planning department and the engineering department. Doc? First, we're going to talk about some grants that we've already received and that we're currently working on or that we're working on getting going. Stream overlay zoning, we received technical assistance from the Hudson River Estuary Program to develop a plan for an overlay zone 50 feet from every stream to protect them from environmental hazards. Anybody that's going to do any development within 50 feet of the stream would have to go to the Planning Commission for site plan review. And there's certain things that they couldn't put within 50 feet of a stream, like a gas station or a gas holding area or anything like that. And we're going to be coming to the Common Council with an overview of that from the consultants that we've worked with. And then there'd have to be a process to get that enacted into the city code if we wanted to pursue that overlay zoning for the areas around the streets. And then we'll be showing you maps and all of that stuff. That'll be coming up in a next meeting or two probably. We also received a $300,000 grant from the Environmental Protection Agency to study 4 vacant properties in the downtown area and develop a reuse plan for them. We're working on the final paperwork with the EPA to get that done, and then we're going to get that started. Last year, the Common Council approved Labella Associates as the consultant on that project, and they'll be working with us to do the environmental assessments and the reuse plans for those properties. We also received a grant from the Department of Labor for workforce training for primarily our DPW staff and anybody that does similar work to DPW or supervises that type of work. It's going to provide OSHA 10 training to the frontline staff, which is 10 hours of training in occupational safety and 30 hours of OSHA supervisory training to the supervisors and managers that oversee that work. That's going to start right after the snow season, just before the summer work starts, when the staff are more available to come into the classroom for 10 hours or 30 hours. We also received a grant from Department of Environmental Conservation for a 2-port charging station at the library. We're working on the paperwork to get that finished with the state to get that started. For some reason, the past couple months, the state's been real slow getting paperwork out.
Are those free chargers?
They'll be free for the first year, that's part of the grant, and then after that, we've developed the infrastructure. We've developed the data to set the pricing based on the usage that has occurred over that year.
Do they already have them at the rail station there?
I believe they may have some at the rail station.
One. Just one? Just one.
Is that up level or down?
Top deck on by E Street.
Yeah, I'm trying to picture it.
I am trying to picture.
I think when you pull them off the bridge, it's right on the left there.
And then from New York State Agriculture and Markets, we received a $50,000 grant to make improvements to the farmers market area and to hire a marketing coordinator for 1 year to help bring in new business to the farmers market. We're going to use some of the money for parking lot paving. I know that's a concern.
Thank you.
And money for benches and tables and different things. We're working with Nancy on that because she runs the farmers market, Nancy the city clerk. From the end, we received a Parks and Recreation grant, a little over $500,000 to make improvements to East Street Park, Eastland Park, and to put a fitness court studio down at the Esplanade. We're working on finalizing the contract with the state for that one. We need to provide them with a map of all the parkland that's going to be used, and we're trying to negotiate instead of doing the full parcel, because 8th Street Park is part of the hollow, and that's an 86-acre parcel that would have to be mapped, and that would be expensive. We're trying to just do the improvement areas, which would be 8th Street Park, Eastland Park, and the Esplanade. And once that gets finalized, we'll get the maps done, and then we can start the process for making those improvements. It'll be new playgrounds, resurfacing the basketball courts, and paving some walkways.
What's a fitness court studio?
It's an outdoor fitness court.
Nothing. They have one right over near RPI.
There's one over near RPI. There's one on 112th Street.
Okay, sure. Yep.
So it's like an outdoor thing?
Outdoor thing.
Aerobics.
Yeah, there's stations where you can go and do a workout. There's an app you can use that tells you how to use each of the pieces of equipment. And then on the other side, there's this flat surface, 38 by 38, for Tai Chi, aerobics courses, and other things that people can use.
So the equipment, is that open and exposed at all times, or is there?
That's open to the public year-round. And we want to get more people out to use the Esplanade as well, because it's a public area that very few people actually go down and use, except for the people who live at Delete's Landing. Tied to the Parks grant was a $50,000 grant that we received from the National Fitness Campaign that we used as match to get the other grant, actually. That is helping to put in the fitness court studio. We also have a home program that we received almost $500,000 in 2023 and over $500,000 in 2024. that provides home rehab assistance to low-income households in the city of Rensselaer.
So we're back on that? I thought that was.
It's presently on hold until the audits are completed.
Okay,
That was
all
my
right.
next sentence.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's
I was like,
okay.
oh, we're back on that, okay.
And then we just received a linkage study grant, $54,000 from the Capital Region Transportation Council to study the isolated neighborhoods along Aiken Avenue on the other side of the tracks. People on that side of the tracks have difficulty getting to Columbia Street to do their shopping and do their drugstore business and other things. And oftentimes they hop two fences and cross several sets of railroad tracks to get to Columbia Street. And we want to help them find a better alternative, whether it's a bridge, a tunnel.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, in the 90s, there used to be a walkway bridge over Second Avenue.
There was a
correct?
bridge at Second Avenue, yeah, that we'll look at that as well.
Okay.
Thank you.
I remember there was photographs of it.
Yes.
I remember seeing, I may have been a itsy-bitsy here, but.
Grants that we're waiting to hear about are a downtown revitalization initiative grant, which would be $10 million to make significant improvements around the downtown Broadway area, Columbia Street, and near the train station. And a brownfield redevelopment grant from the Department of State, which we would use to do a study and engage a consultant to work on development on East Street near the train station. Rather than just surface parking, we'd like to work with CDTA to build a parking structure with the top deck at grade with Herrick and East that could have a buildable structure on top that could be commercial, residential, mixed use, offices, whatever is needed. Grants that we're currently working on are a Transportation Alternative Program grant from DOT to make a walking trail along Old Rock Cut Road behind Mountain View Avenue. It's an abandoned road that people use to get from Sterling Bridge to Washington Avenue, but it's presently unpaved and unmaintained. We'd like to make it an actual walking trail. We're asking for $1 million from DOT to put that in with benches and lighting and everything that's needed to make it a functional walking trail. We're working on that right now. That's due May 12th, I believe. And then the Northern Border Regional Commission. Rensselaer County is part of the Northern Border Region, believe it or not. And we can apply for catalyst funding, and we're looking at making water and sewer improvements in the port area, or expanding the waterfront trail north of Troy, or an engineering study of the water needs, transmission needs on the Route 4, which services Rensselaer and North Greenbush, East Greenbush. And then they also have a Timber for Transit grant that provides funding to purchase lumber and build a bridge, and we need a bridge in the Hollow Trail, so we may look at that grant as well for that. Other things that the planning department does is we provide staff to the Planning Commission and the Zoning Board of Appeals. Each month we send you guys the agenda for what's going on in the agenda for each of those meetings, and if there's anything in your ward that you're concerned about, we encourage you to come to those meetings. Upcoming this month at the Planning Commission meeting next Monday, 338 Broadway is the Pike Mill Dam area. Riverkeeper has a plan to remove the dam, which isn't functioning now as a dam. It's just impeding the water and impeding the eel and other wildlife from traveling upstream. And they want to remove that dam to create a more natural habitat in that area and dress it up a little better than it is right now. 444 Washington Avenue, the old monolith building. The owner is working with Vanderheiden to put an adult daycare center in there, and they're coming to the Planning Commission. And next Monday is going to be the first meeting when Pulcinella Realty comes and talks to us about Killian's Landing and their plans up on the waterfront north of the Livingston Avenue Bridge. And then the Zoning Board of Appeals in 3 weeks, 106 Mountain View Avenue is looking for an area variance to expand his garage closer to his property line. He won't be able to meet the setback requirements if he does that, so he's got to get an area variance. And then the other two things that the planning department is working on is we have an ambassador program over at the train station, 4 hours a day. Avery, our ambassador, sits at a desk, answers questions, talks to people at Rensselaer, and hands out a handout that has a list of things that you can do in Rensselaer, and also information about Rensselaer's history. And we have an intern, Allison Knapp, who's helping us in the planning department. And that's it for the planning department. There is some overlap with things going on in the engineering department. Bill Smart is working on, well, the Wilson Street culvert replacement's been complete. That was $1 million project. The closeout for that is underway. South Street Bridge, you just approved, I think, is that right?
Yes.
That's going to be starting in the spring with construction. There's also a culvert on South Street that's got a grant for $1.5 million. We're going to start the survey and environmental work for that in the spring. Hollow Trail Improvements has a $3 million project for phase 1. We got a $2.5 million grant, and there's some match from the city that's going in. We're looking for grants to offset that match. Phase 1 is in design. That's going to be from the trailhead to the dam that's in the hollow. The big expense is getting across that water with that dam, and that's where the Timber for Trails grant would come in. And then we'll work on the next phase, which is to get the trail all the way up to the school. Washington Street Bridge deck replacement is pending project design. We've got $782,000 for that, and eventually we're going to get that underway. And then the waterfront multi-use trail, which is going to be from the Esplanade to the boat launch, is going to be started as soon as the Livingston Avenue Bridge is completed. DOT is going to do the trail from the Esplanade to the bridge, and then the city's going to do the trail from the bridge north to the boat launch. And that's going to tie into the Killian's Landing project, because they're going to give us access rights to the waterfront for the trail in their development. Potential TAP grants we've already talked about, in the Northern Border Regional Commission Catalyst grants we've already talked about. And then Bill is going to come back to you at some point in the future to talk about the CHIPS project process and the curb cut driveway approval process. But he's not here to talk about those right now.
So what's the cutoff, what's the final date for the DRI grant?
We're expecting to hear sometime in the spring.
Okay.
We took them on a tour, we had a meeting with them, and we're waiting to hear. They meet every quarter, and then the governor makes the announcements. They roll out in each region depending on her schedule. So anywhere between March and July probably.
Okay. Nice.
But we got our fingers crossed.
I'm not saying this is from me, but I did request this, so I appreciate this layout
Okay,
being
good.
presented.
Very good. Thank you.
Anybody got anything?
Any
No, this is pretty
questions?
comprehensive, I like this.
I'm just
And it's
curious where the
listed.
hollow
I
trail
love
head,
this
are you,
trail.
like Garden Place?
No,
Yeah.
no.
What do we call this
It's
trail?
down in 6th Street.
6th Street.
In the hollow.
Oh,
And they're
I used to
working
live
on-
on the corner of,
Right.
yeah, okay.
There's currently an
That's a big
access
mess.
road off of one of the side streets up on the hill,
Yeah,
and they're gonna try to make a trail entrance there as well.
what about parking? Just park on the.
There'll be parking in the 6th Avenue area where there's a
Yeah.
DPW garage
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And if
It
you come
needs
the
to be
other way, you
cleaned
can
up.
park at the school,
Right,
if you're gonna
right.
use it during school hours.
You gotta clean it down there though.
So what is the plan for the upkeep of that? Because it seems like we did some rehabilitation to that before and then.
It would be a DPW
Yeah.
thing to maintain.
Yeah, the entrance way last year
There was a
got
good,
really
there was a good
overgrown.
start though down there.
But it's really nice,
Yes.
and it is really nice to go in there once you're on that trail, it's really great.
That's right, when you go off Garden Place, it's lovely.
Yeah.
You know, like the trail's nice. there.
Yeah, it
Come up
really
by
is
the
nice
school.
back there.
Yeah. Go all
I
that.
did like how all the environmental people spray painted all the trees though. Don't kill me.
Yeah. Big access, yeah. I took my blind dog for a walk through there, it was fun.
Anything else for these guys?
No, it's up.
All right, now we can go into executive session.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
guys.
Thank you.
You guys can hang out in the hallway if you want, but after that, we're done. So, it's up to you guys.
I'm gonna keep mine, sorry.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, did you want to come? I thought so.
Quite impressive, thank you so much for that. If you're willing to give me that.
Absolutely.
And great presentation, so much stuff you guys are doing. Easier than all of us.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Oh, this is pages.
No, Amy give you one and I give you one.
Gotcha.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just looking at the amount of funding that we get for our little pet projects is nice. We need more of that though.
A lot of times those projects come with an upfront cost for us.
Yeah, but upfront cost, then you just recycle it once you get your grant monies.
No, I mean like a match sometimes a lot, so you have to come out and buy.